Mic check.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Ready, sir?
Let's do it, buddy.
Still got audio? Hello, everyone at home.
That's right.
Quick audio check.
That's it. We good.
Here we go. Well, welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 7 edition of the Recap Show. Welcome back to the Recap Show. 2 weeks of not having my broadcast colleague on side of me, Gary Swallow. So good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
Gary, your
missing it.
first time calling a football game in a couple of weeks now, man. You went to Talladega.
Yeah.
I went to Vegas. But we've been out of the loop for a little while, but it's so good to see everyone joining us for the late night edition of the Under the Lights Recap Show. We are ready for a good one, my friend.
You're right. We had some great games tonight.
Great games all across the state of Louisiana. We saw a great one down there in Eunice, Louisiana.
Right.
I tell you what, that rivalry is something to see in person.
It's great to see. It's heated. They just get pumped up when they play each other. So look out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got helmet stickers to give out. We got games of the night to talk about. Also, there's some upsets from around the state of Louisiana to talk about. And who won UTL statement win of the night. Right. So much to talk about. And more. Boy, did some teams make us eat our words this week, Gary.
You're right, and I gotta be the first one to say that sometimes whenever you make a prediction, you put your foot in your mouth. And just this week was one of the hardest weeks I've ever had to pick, and you selected some good games.
Gary, 7 weeks have come and gone already. Gary, the playoffs are near, and we are into the final stretch as we close the door on Week 7. Week 8 is right there. Week 9 almost here. Week 10, before you know it, we're going to be drawing stuff in the dirt, trying to figure out these playoff brackets, trying to figure out who's on the bubble, who's going to host a first-round game, who's going to get a first-round bye. All of that is fixing to gear up, and it's fixing to come fast, and it's going to be blazing.
And before you know it, like I said, we're going to be all up in the middle of that. And like I said, even after the playoffs are going to come around so fast. Before you know it, we're going to be in New Orleans.
We're going to be dancing.
That's right.
In New Orleans. Because this year's state championship games, I got a feeling it's going to be the best we've ever watched.
I agree with you. With the new playoff system and the brackets the way it's going to be. And I'm going to be honest with you. None of the games are going to – I don't think any of the games are going to be bad. I think they're going to all be exciting and very, very close and competitive.
We're going to get our money's worth this year,
right.
And I'm going to get me some good food.
You're right.
Like we always do.
Yes, most definitely.
Gary Swallow, we talk about cool air moving into the forecast next week. It's going to feel like football weather. It's going to be in the 40s. By kickoff next week.
I'm ready. I'm ready to wear a jacket for our ball games. I'm just ready for it. That cold weather. There's just something about cold weather and football
that mixes together so much. I mean, it's hard to beat Abbeville Wasserman cold weather night up north. That's gonna be a tough one to beat because that mother trucker was cold that night. But I love playoff football. and I love when them temperatures drop.
Right. That was a great experience, great atmosphere. I don't want it to be quite that cold, but hey, I'll accept it either way.
Gary, we had a lot of undefeateds fall tonight.
You're right.
They started this week with 18 undefeateds remaining. That number has decreased after tonight.
Yep.
We're going to get into it and talk about it. We got some overtime wins. We got a walk-off field goal to talk about. And we got a district win streak snapped tonight. Boy, boy, boy. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Week 7 recap show. Let's get it going.
Yes, sir.
Gary, initial thoughts of Week 7. You looked at some of these games here. You got an idea of where these teams are 7 weeks into the season. Who's contenders? Who's pretenders?
Right.
Who's got a shot at the district title? And who's thinking about next year?
Right.
Gary, a lot to talk about. Give me your initial thoughts of Week 7.
You have teams that are traditionally winners that are struggling a little bit more this year. You know, you got schools that are traditionally, I hate to say this, losers that are not winning consistently, that have actually won a few games, that are getting more used to that. So right now, you got this year is, you know, just throw it in there and play the game. I mean, you don't know who's going to win.
Huh?
Yeah, it's wide open all the way through. We had some upsets tonight that's going to show that. You know, so it's crazy. But you know what? I like it.
Gary, one of our favorite teams got beat down tonight.
Whoa, big time. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
So
my God.
Even our favorites in this state
Right.
can have a night like they had tonight.
Right. But it depends on the opponent too.
Yes.
Depends on the opponent. And like I say, you play the best you can to see where you're at, and that's what I'm seeing more this year. We have people that are scheduling competitive games in non-district, and it's making their district that much stronger. So I mean, I'm just so happy to see what's going on right now.
Yeah, Gary. If anything has anything in store for the first 7 weeks, gear up for the next 7 weeks.
You're right.
7 to 8 weeks,
7 to 8
Gary.
weeks. You're right.
Because these first 7 weeks have been an absolute treat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say a big thank you to St. Ed's for having us tonight, coaching staff and the
Right.
administration for your approval to allow us to come do your football game tonight. Gary Swallow, great host.
Most definitely. Very
Very
good.
nice, and treated us with major respect.
Right.
So thank you so much. It was an absolute honor to go down to Blue Jay country tonight and get treated so well.
Correct. And great game, too. Great rivalry game, and we'll talk about that a little bit better.
Also, thank you to Vinny and Catholic Appointment P from Thursday night.
Yeah,
Great
you
friendship
bet.
there with Mr. Vinny, and big supporters of that Hornet
Right.
football team. Also, anytime we want to come, the doors are always
Right.
open. All right, Mr. Swallow, let's talk some football.
Let's do it.
All right, so we'll get to our helmet stickers, games of the night, upsets of the night, and statement of wins of the night. And at the end of these games,
Right.
we started off with Thursday night football, Mr. Swallow. It was a date in district play because at this point everybody's in district
Pretty much, yes.
unless they have a non-district slate because of an uneven amount of teams.
Correct.
North Central, Westminster. Gary, this game we had written off that it was over.
Right.
But that's why you play to the final 0.
Right.
There we saw 32-14, and we thought it was done.
Right.
Next thing you know, we find out final score 35-32. Westminster comes reeling back
All right.
all the way back and knocks off North Central at home. What a moment for the Crusaders. What that feeling must have been like.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what happened or how it did. All I know is that for Westminster to put a comeback like that together, my God, they must have been playing some good ball, and things must have clicked for them. Congratulations out there. We had our guest picker coach, the coach from North Central. Sorry for the for the loss, coach, but that's like we said. That's why you play the game, and congratulations to Westminster and all their kids.
Next up, ERAF Kaplan. We talked a little bit about it on Wednesday night. We said ERAF explosive in the pass game. Could Kaplan find a way to slow them down? And basically, we said ball control would be a big portion here. Would it be the Campassi show on Thursday night? Would Kaplan play enough keep away from that ERAF offense to make this a win streak continue? Gary, it would not happen tonight. Thursday night.
That's
ERAF, a big night on the road. They went down to Pirate Country, knocked off Kaplan 37-22. That ERAF Abbeville matchup next week just got more juicier.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
So congratulations to the Bobcats. Big win on the road there.
Right.
Gary, this next matchup, undefeated Episcopal. They went in 6-0 to a 5-1 Dunham football team. Gary, if I told you in one of those 18 undefeated teams would get knocked off tonight, you would believe me. But if I told you one of those 18 undefeated teams would get shut out and lose by 42, you would call me crazy 7 days a week.
I would have. But guess what? It happened.
It happened. Final score, Dunham at home moved to 6-1 with a 42-0 win over previous undefeated Episcopal. What a win for that Dunham football team.
That's amazing. And that's, like I said, that's one of the big, and I don't know if you'd call it upset because they dominated so much, but it was unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you this next matchup, Gary. We talked about it. We said this countless times. Nobody wants to play Catholic Appointed. And then Wednesday night we said they might have a challenger. Opelousas Catholic. Look at the wrong name. Opelousas Catholic would not back down. We said it. They would accept that challenge and they would come and play a really good football game. We thought it was going to be competitive.
Right.
We said they wasn't backing down from undefeated 6-0 Catholic Appointed P. They were battle tested.
Correct.
Coach put together the schedule. He got his kids ready for a game like this.
Right. He sure did.
Gary, I ain't never seen an Opelousas Catholic defense so inspired from what I saw Thursday night.
Well, I got finished with my classes and I actually got a chance to watch you guys, and you were streaming it. So the good part is I can sit down and I can watch whenever you on Thursday nights. Whenever I get off work. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm like you. I've never seen Opelousas Catholic play like this. They were hitting on
all fire.
All cylinders was hitting, and I gotta give it to them. I gotta say congratulations to Opelousas Catholic, and just say, man, look at the Opelousas team. So Opelousas Catholic and Opelousas High School. Look at what they're doing right now. Oh my God, it's so awesome.
Gary, a pick six, around 8-minute mark in that game by Mr. Luna.
Right.
And after that, OC would put the final nail in the coffin with another pick six from their quarterback. Gary, final score, OC 30, Catholic Appointed P 8. You did not see that one coming, that score-wise. I
would have thought it would have been like a 10-7 ball game. That's, something like that. But the margin of victory is very impressive. So, like I said, congratulations to OC and the Vikings.
Vikings stay undefeated in district play. Everybody chasing their tail now. They are the front runners in that competitive district.
Right.
Next up, it is a rematch for the ages.
You're right.
These are two northern teams that are all so familiar with each other, ladies and gentlemen. They met back in the regular season last year. They met in the state title game.
Right.
And what a game that was.
Yeah, we were there.
We were there. Ladies and gentlemen, if we said Trey Holly was 1-6 all time against Sterlington. You would not believe us unless you follow high school sports to the core.
To the core, right.
Trying to get his second all-time win, Gary, they would go to Union Parish. And the Trey Hollis Show would roll on. Also, a big turning point in that game, 103-yard INT pick six.
Wow.
From Union Parish safety. Final score, Union Parish gets their revenge. Revenge is oh so sweet whenever you've had that game marked for our year.
Right. You're right.
Final score, Union Parish 29, Sterlington 21. Don't count out a potential rematch here.
This might be the finals again.
You never know.
And what's going to happen? These two teams are very good.
This might be a second round quarterfinal matchup.
Yeah, it might be. You can't never tell.
So don't count out a rematch. If it is a rematch, Sterlington is going to be licking their chops.
You're right.
Game of the night. Might want to throw it in the game of the year caliber.
Yeah, it was an awesome ball game.
What an atmosphere from Knight Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. 6-0 Turlings, bringing in their perfect record. They had to go to a tough environment. A lot of people say it is tough to win at Knight Field because of how that game day experience, how that game day atmosphere is.
That's right.
LCA coming in 5-1. Only loss this year came to number 1 ranked Ruston.
Correct.
So this one would come down to the final minute, Gary. These two teams throwing blows left and right. Defense is keeping them in the game. Special teams making plays. Gary, 4th and 10. Preston Welsh is that guy for Turlings Catholic.
Right.
The quarterback from Turlings. 4th and 10, rolls out to the right, throws a prayer. Defensive back falls down. Touchdown, Rebels. And that would be the decider. What a game. What a play. What a win for the Turlings. 7-0.
I was watching it.
Me too.
After we talked about it, I was watching the game, and I could not believe that, and I won't say this as far as in any negative way, but I couldn't believe that LCA was not able to score inside their 5, but they had 3 miscues. Boom, 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 that pushed them back to back. And that, I won't lie to you, I think that cost them the game.
Could have went put the final, the damper, huh?
But it didn't happen, and LCA.
Hats off to Turlings.
Right, LCA went for it to try to get, and Turlings stopped them, and Turlings just took the ball and just went down. But they had the ball, they had them stopped. It was 4th and 10, and then
can't let nobody get behind you.
That's the rule. Nobody behind you. And boy, did he get behind them, and he threw the ball with everything he had.
Beautiful
and he
pass.
Caught it. He caught it, and just touchdown pass, giving Turlings the win. Congratulations to Turlings Catholic. I'm a believer.
7-0, Gary
7-0.
Swallow.
Right.
When do we start putting Turlings in that title contention frame?
Now.
The man himself said now.
Now. They are Coach Ponche over there, and we know a few people on the staff over there. I'm telling you, they are making believers out of all of us. I'm very impressed. That's all I can say. Very impressed.
Gary, we just said Sterlington and Union Parish don't count out a rematch. How about Turlings and LCA don't count out a rematch?
Oh, no, this is very possible. We can get them in the finals if ever they bracket it right.
If they're in the finals or potential semifinal
Semifinals,
matchup. Right. Maybe at Turlings this time.
Yeah, maybe.
Holy cow. Keep a close eye on this playoff bracket.
If that would happen, standing room only, you better go early to get a place to sit down. Because if you don't,
all of Lafayette
will be there. My God, that would be so awesome.
Oh, shifting gears to a couple of games here. What a game tonight down in Ville Platte. It was homecoming for Ville Platte High. Port Barry Red Devils coming on the road trying to spoil homecoming. Gary, I heard this game came down to the final drive. Put-Barry driving,
Right.
trying to go tie this sucker up, and it came down to an interception.
Right.
What a hard-fought game from the Red Devils. Hats off to the way those kids played for 4 quarters.
Right.
I'm glad to see the fight in them.
Man,
7 weeks into the season.
I'm going to tell you something. Port-Barry is down on their luck this year, and they're struggling as far as at first to put points on the board. They scored 22 points tonight. That's amazing. And yes, it ended with an interception and stuff like that. But I see like you said, I see the fight, I see the excitement, and I'm so proud of them for not giving up. They actually are playing ball, and I'm very proud of that.
Yep. Homecoming win for Ville Platte. The celebration begins. You know it always feels good to win on homecoming night, no matter who you are.
Right.
So congratulations to the Bulldogs from Ville Platte picking up their 2nd win of the season. It's a tough district to win games in.
You're right.
So final score, Ville Platte 29, Put-Barry 22. What a game.
Correct.
Gary, we talked about LaGrange a little bit before we came on the
Right.
air. We said LaGrange currently holds the longest losing streak in the state. Could they break it tonight? A very good possibility that they break it this season, but it would not be this
tonight.
week.
Yeah, not tonight.
They would have to go down to Wolf Country. And Wolf Country was running wild tonight, putting 59 big ones on the scoreboard. LaGrange also hung 36, but not enough defense
Right.
to get that signature win this year and get that monkey off their back. Rain, 59. LaGrange, 36. Congratulations to the Wolves.
Correct. Great job.
How about an 0-6 Washington Marion football team causing havoc tonight in Eunice
Boy, did they?
country? Bobcat country.
You right.
If anybody said that Eunice would have to come and escape with a win to an 0-6 Washington Marion team, boy, they'd have called you crazy. But tonight,
It happened.
this is why you play the game. Any given week, somebody can be beat, Gary.
Right.
This game went to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Eunice Bobcats escapes at home. Final score, 26-20, winners over Washington Marion.
Correct. Hey.
Like a little
Yeah.
overtime magic, huh?
I like it, but you got to start preparing and
Bobcats escape.
get ready for you just got to get ready for every opponent the same way. And sometimes whenever you going against an opponent that's struggling, sometimes you don't work as hard. But you got to be careful, because I'm gonna tell you,
Trap game.
that almost bit Eunice. And I'm glad to see the Bobcats win. Local teams and stuff, St. Landry Parish, but they got to be careful. But congratulations to the Eunice Bobcats.
What an atmosphere it must have been to see a finish like that.
Oh, that must, yeah.
Nobody must have been sitting down.
Reminded you of that game up in Alexandria.
Yes, indeed, my friend. How about this district race here heating up, Gary?
Mm-hmm. Getting hot.
We said it on Wednesday. Iota, keep winning.
Right.
You keep winning, you set up a district championship game with Church Point.
Correct.
Gary, we're at that point.
Yep.
Big Cody, while you're here, can you look up and see when Iota and Church Point play this year? I want to know when that district title game is. But as of for tonight, Pine Prairie, a winless football team, would have to go to Bulldog Country. And they call it God's Country over there
You're right.
at Iota. Iota, looking for their 5th win of the season, would not have any problems. Iota, big win tonight, 56-12 over the Panthers.
Correct.
Like we said, that district title game is looming.
Well, we talked about that for this district. They said where it was going to go, and we talked about that earlier in the year. I said it looks like Church Point and Iota are going to be the front runners, and it looks like that might well be it.
How about the Crow? Karen Crow, 5-1 on the season, trying to get that 6th win. Ain't this is their first time in recent memory moving up to 5A, Gary, and they are chasing a 6-1 start. How about the Crew? No flashes of letting down this year when they had all the opportunity to say we're moving up in classification. We need a build, you know. I
had a chance to watch them last week, and I'm gonna tell you, they're clicking. They're playing some good football, and I have some good feelings about this team. Look out, the Crow Dome is gonna, always be popular to for that, and man, it was just amazing to see them. And like I said, these guys, they know how to play. They're consistent and they're winners.
Gary, it's setting up to be a Week 10
You're right.
showdown, or Week 9 showdown with Acadiana.
Right. That's going to be an interesting
It's going to
game.
be very interesting
Mm-hmm.
because now we think Cameron Crew might be able to get over that edge.
They might. They have an opportunity. And tonight was they let it know. They let them know that hey, we're here.
So final score in that one: Cameron Crew 56, Como 6. Como off to a struggling start.
Right.
Still have not found that first win of the season.
November 4th, last game of the season.
So they play Week 10.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, it was the Pios welcoming in Vinton to Crawley, Louisiana. Notre Dame starting to get that little push through district. But I tell you what, district won't be handed to them this year with Welsh Greyhounds looming, Gary.
Yep, we talked about that
We
earlier.
talked about that earlier. We said, I can't wait to see that district title game played.
That's going to be a
'Cause
good ball game.
if anybody could challenge them for the title, it's the
Welsh.
Greyhounds.
Right, you're right.
4-2 Notre Dame knocks off 1-4 Vinton tonight, 41-6. Next up, Kinder Yellow Jackets and Breaux Bridge Tigers, 1-5 versus 2-4. Two teams not having the ideal starts that they always accustomed to. Both of these teams are used to postseason history and chasing district titles. But this year, Gary,
well, they're struggling.
Something's going on for Kinder right now.
Right.
They're playing some tougher teams.
Yeah, tougher
they
teams.
moved up to 3A, and they have fallen to 1-6 this year. Unfamiliar territory, something we're not accustomed to since we've been covering this team these last 3 years.
They have good tradition at this school, but man, that move from 2A to 3A, that's really affecting them, I think, this year. And tonight, it was once again it was a struggle.
Tonight it was all Breaux Bridge. Breaux Bridge at home beats the Yellow Jackets 42-24. Congratulations to the Tigers. A big win at home. They got a brand new coaching staff over there, and they pick up their third win of the season. So congratulations to Breaux Bridge.
You're right.
How about 1-5 Beauchamp going down to 5-1 Cecilia? We said it. Cecilia, you win. OHS, you win. And we got a district title game.
Right down the road. It's going to be unbelievable.
All they had to do was take care of business tonight, Gary.
Right.
Cecilia does their part.
Yes, they did.
Big win at home. No troubles here with Beauchamp. They walk away with this one, 48-7 Bulldogs. And Tigers next week.
Yeah, buddy.
Congratulations to Cecilia.
This next one.
How about Holly's Lock of the Week this week, ladies and gentlemen? Holly's Lock of the Week, week in and week out. She picks one. She's currently 5-1 on the season. And let's just say she just went to 6-1 on the season.
Right.
Because she picked the Welsh Greyhounds to take down the Quincy Tigers. And boy, was she right this week. Congratulations to my fiance and her Lock of the Week. Final score, Greyhounds 48, DeQuincy 14. That's a dangerous football team in Welsh, Gary Swallow.
You're right. And I can't wait to see them and the Pios go at it. That's going to be the game that we're going to be looking at.
Four-quarter war.
Four-quarter war. You're right.
You look at Welsh, they fell in the perfect bracket where they can make a run for this title.
You're right. Most definitely.
So, big fans of that Greyhound football team moving forward. Can't wait to see what they do in these next few weeks for sure, and where they will be seated once playoff football gets here.
Right. They scored some points, too.
They've been scoring points for the first 6 weeks.
Right.
Next up, Gary, it's the Abbeville Wildcats against the Crowley Gents.
Right.
Gents have played some teams close this year.
Mm-hmm.
This one was close going into halftime, Gary. And then Abbeville looking to bounce back from last week's loss at home to St. Charles. They would have all they wanted tonight and more. Gary, what we said, a team just has that little extra oomph when homecoming rolls around. It looks like it gave them that extra spunk.
Yeah.
Those last 2 quarters, they roll late to beat Crawley tonight, 49-20. Abbeville Wildcats make it 5-2 in the year, still chasing that district title. We did the UTL Stadium tour. We stopped down in Abbeville this year.
Right.
Abbeville said, we want to win district this year. Gary?
And they can do it.
They have a shot.
They can do it.
Week 9.
Look out.
Week 8.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get through those 2.
Yeah, those 2 are going to be the gauntlet.
You got to beat ERAF next week. You got to beat St. Martinville the next week after that. And then you all know what's week 10.
Week 10 is the
with
big
Kaplan.
Deal. Right.
So the cards are on the table. The ball is in your hands. We'll see if they go win this district title.
That's right. It's there in front of them. Go get it.
Next up, 4-2 Elton against 2-4 East Bow. Elton started off as hot as they could come. They ran into Basile, but a lot of teams have been running into Basile this year.
You're right.
And then they had Gaydon last week. Was not expecting them to fall against Gaydon, but hats off to that Gaydon program for going to win that football game. So where is the adversity at with this team? Could they get it all back together and go knock off East Bow on homecoming night? Back to that little statement, teams play a little bit harder when homecoming rolls around. Something about a homecoming, something about a senior night that makes these teams just find that extra by the time they get to the 4th quarter.
You're right.
Tonight, let's just say Gage Hildrich and that East Beauregard football team gets a big-time win.
Right.
And you look at this East Bow team, Gary.
They're going to be dangerous.
22-6 winners. Now, if East Bow wins next week, if East Bow wins the week after that, guess what Week 10 stands?
That's going to be for all the marbles.
Week 10 will be for an outright district title or a share of the district title.
Correct.
With Basile. You gotta love this time of the year.
That's right. And excitement.
Gotta love this time of the year. We'll see if East Bow keeps winning and sets up that game.
That's going to be an exciting game.
East Bow.
Right. That's going to be at East Bow.
So we'll see. We're a long way from Week 10.
Yes.
We're only just trying to close the door on Week 7.
That's right.
Congratulations to East Bow tonight. Big win at home. Laurelville going on the road, taking on Franklin. Franklin, big win last week over Delcom. Could they feed off of that, roll into this week, and defend their home turf? Not enough in the tank tonight, Gary. Laurelville rolled big over Franklin tonight, 46-20. Laurelville goes to 4-3 on the year.
Laurelville's they've got so much tradition and they've got some good athletes out there. So, like I said, I'm very happy to see that, and congratulations to Laurelville. Awesome.
Somebody said fear the Fin. You know what Fear the Fin means? It means you got a top 5 Southside Shark football team playing the best football they've played in recent memory. They're a brand new school.
Yeah.
They're not that very old, but this is one of their best teams they've ever had in school history.
Coach Fontenot's putting together a program that is so solid over there. I can't tell you how excited I am for that ball club.
So you a Shark fan?
I'm a Shark fan. I won't lie to you. I am a Shark fan.
Well, give me a Shark helmet, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to work on that. I will do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Southside continues to roll. Final score, Sulphur came into town, and Southside leaves with the W. 28-7. Sharks trying to make it interesting.
That's right. They got some games coming up that's going to make it really interesting.
Next week.
Right.
How about the big dogs here in Opelousas, Gary? The Tigers.
Number 1 ranked.
Number 1 ranked team in the state rankings.
State rankings right now.
Had a district matchup tonight at Livonia. You talk about this. You talk about looking ahead. Let's look ahead to the district title game. That's what we say.
Yeah.
You get caught.
Right.
You're not focused in on the task at hand.
Right.
Hats off to Coach Jimmy Zachary for keeping that group together and keeping their minds on the prize and taking it one step at a time.
Right. You're right.
OHS made it a business trip. And they went down to Livonia and they took care of business, Gary.
Right.
And what we said, Cecilia, you win, OHS, you win, and we're going to party at Donald Gardner next Friday night.
Yep.
And we're going to see, may the best man win. Roll your sleeves up, and we'll see what happens after 48 minutes.
It's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to see that game.
Final score, OHS 41, Livonia 13. Chess 6-1 on the season, Mr. Swallow.
That's right. OHS Tigers, they're playing some good football.
That Turling's loss looks really good right now.
You're right.
First game of the season, you lose to the 7-0 number 1 ranked team in the state. That's a really good loss.
That is. And I'm going to tell you right now, they have a shot to make a lot of noise in the playoffs.
Gary, we talked about Turlings being contenders for that title game.
Right.
When do we put OHS in the mix?
I'm going to tell you.
When next week?
When next week, they're on the top of my list.
There you go.
They're pretty high on my list right now, but you got to show me that in your district, take the title. Get it from Cecilia. Get it.
There you go. How about St. Martinville? Going on the road, taking on the defending state champs tonight, St. Charles, baby. The Comets.
Yes.
St. Martinville, we said. Boy, they played a schedule.
They did.
Boy, have they been all over the place, up and down this year. 2-4 coming into the season, Gary.
Right.
But that doesn't matter because we know how good this St. Martinville offense is.
You're right.
I didn't know how good they were going to be against St. Charles because we know how good St. Charles' defense is.
Right, and that surprised me.
Gary, this game was at St. Charles.
Right.
With St. Charles' defense.
Right.
That didn't matter.
No. St. Martinville proved us. Well, I don't know.
St. Martinville.
They proved me wrong.
They put the foot in the mouth and said, under the lights, slow your roll and know your damn roll.
That's right.
We're going to go on the road. We're going to knock off the defending state champs, and we're going to prove we still belong.
That's right. And they did.
They're still the defending district champs, so all roads lead through them when they get back in district play.
Right.
A nice little non-district contest tonight against the defending state champs. Boy, what can that do to move your team moving forward?
That win right there is gonna move them up in power points
And boost
their morale. Man, that's awesome.
Final score on the road: St. Martinville 35, St. Charles 25. Big win. This may give St. Martinville that little push moving forward.
Correct.
And all you got to do is get into the playoffs, Gary.
You're right.
Just-
And because
Just make that top 28.
that's a whole new season.
Whew, what a game here.
You're right.
The Battling Bears, ladies and gentlemen, with the three-headed monster. We said it. They are the real deal, Gary.
You're right.
If you had to take a guess of what they average a week in points scored, hit me.
I wouldn't know. All I know is it's a bunch. It's over 50.
45 to
Oh, really?
55. I'm taking a guess here.
I would say close to that. Yeah, they're averaging, man,
Back-to-back weeks
great offenses.
of 50-plus points. It's hard to stop that three-headed monster, but it's even harder to line up in the trenches with this football team.
You're right.
They
Offensively,
go
they're
at it.
offensively they are smoking. They're going.
So when will we see Church Point tested again? It's the Iota.
Yeah.
So we will see if it's going to be the Bulldogs taking the title home or the Battling Bears taking the title home this year. I can't wait
To
to
be the
see.
champs, you got to beat the
Can't
champs.
wait to see that contest unfold. But tonight, the Battling Bears 50, Northwest 8. Boy, what a
That's-
lopsided score that was. Did not expect
They put up over 100 points in 2 games.
120 in 2 games, huh? Or 110 in 2 games.
Yeah, there's something
I was
like
not
that.
expecting the score to be this out of way,
Yeah,
but I was expecting Church Point to win big.
right.
But there you go. Battling Bears lost in the semis last year.
I know, we saw it.
We saw it up in hand. Do they have the team to get back?
They can.
We'll see. Will defense be their Achilles heel this year? Or can they just keep outscoring everybody?
Coach Arsenault said that. He says they lost a lot on defense, but their offense was still as powerful and strong. So we're gonna see. I'm pulling for them. I'm a believer in Church Point. They are now 7-0.
Coach Arsenault doesn't care if he wins 67 to 66.
As long as it's a win, 1 point more.
Yes, indeed.
Don't blame him. Congratulations, Church Point.
Next up, Catholic New Iberia makes the trip down to Delcom. Last year, we talked about this game. Boy, was we in shockwaves when we saw Delcom take down. When we saw Delcom take down Catholic
Delcom.
New Iberia last year.
Right.
This year, I believe that game was circled. Gary? Catholic New Iberia started the season 0-4, if I'm not
Correct.
mistaken.
I think so.
They had a big win. They had a big win over Eunice, and then another win. And Catholic New Iberia makes it a 3-game winning streak. They go on the road and shut out Delcom tonight. Final score: Catholic New Iberia 30, Delcom 0.
Wow.
Here comes Catholic and New Iberia. 3 in a row they done rolled off.
Don't sleep on them.
I see Church Point going undefeated this year.
Yeah. Very well, possibly.
All right.
Yeah, if Welsh beats Notre Dame, then I could take you up on that offer.
That would be awesome,
On
wouldn't
a
it?
nail biter with Church Point.
Yeah. Yeah. One
Or
of my
plays
favorite
Notre Dame close.
Right. One of my favorite teams. Next.
Ladies and gentlemen, Avoyles doing Avoyles things and doing Avoyles big.
Right.
Final score, Avoyles shuts out Holy Savior Menard, flexes their muscles. makes it a track meet, and they were running tonight.
Yep.
How many onside kicks they recovered? Over or under 5?
Oh, I'd probably say over.
Over it is. Okay, we're gonna go with over. Final score: Avoyelles moves to 5-2 in the year, 60-0. They hung 60 tonight, Gary.
60.
60.
Oh my God, that offense is just phenomenal. I'm sorry, that's one of my favorite offenses. I'm sorry, I don't. It's so unconventional to me, but I love it.
Okay, Gary. Here's the next thing. Why isn't the Avoyelles getting talked about more to get to that title game? Because here's they got 2 losses.
Right.
Turlings. LCA.
Right.
2 quality opponents that they lost to.
Right.
They're not going to see a Turlings or an LCA in the playoffs. Why isn't
Right.
this team playing more?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I don't understand that because, maybe they don't know, but whenever you lose to Turlings and LCA, and you beat everybody else, and they scored points on Turlings and LCA, it's not as if they were shut out.
Correct.
So
Both of those teams air it out.
Right. So to me, that's a shame that they're not getting talked about more. Because I'm gonna tell you, this team they're exciting to me. I love when we went the first time and watched them. Yes, they lost because they played against a Red River team that would air it out. They had a receiving core that was great, but their offense is solid. But they still put up points.
Gary, they're going to give some teams some headaches.
Oh, I think yes.
In this playoff.
And I think they're going to probably be these other teams are going to be favored, and I think they're going to upset some people. I really do. I think they're going to go in there and with their philosophy and just keep getting those onside kicks.
Gary, but do you go into the playoffs with a new mindset where if it comes down to it, to get to the state title game, we'll actually punt this year?
That's something that coach has to make his decision on. But I'm gonna be honest with you, if it was up to me, I probably would. Because the game that we watched in person, they had 2 touchdown passes. I don't know if you remember that. They had 2 passes that were for touchdowns. Everything else was pound, 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 score.
There, last week, the guy that made our headlines, he touched the ball, 9 times?
Yeah.
He touched the ball 9 times and scored 7 touchdowns off of it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And so, hey, I think they're gonna.
Sleeper.
I think they're gonna be one of the sleepers that's gonna wake up some people. I think they're gonna do that.
How about 3-2 Oakdale versus 3-2 Mamou? Mamou better as of late, Gary.
Right.
But you know who's been playing good football this season?
Oakdale.
The Oakdale Warriors.
Go ahead, Mikey. He's offensive coordinator guy. He knows his stuff over there, and he's one of my former students as a martial artist and good friend of mine from this area. Mikey Hickenbotham, good job.
Gary, they say fear to veer. A lot of people got away from that smash mouth football, but the Oakdale Warriors live it and breathe it.
Right.
They play fast. They play physical. They got some talented backs in that backfield.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hit you in the mouth for sure for
Right.
4 quarters. They don't have bad losses.
No.
They lost to a Grand Lake team
Right.
in overtime. They lost to an Avoyelles team.
Right. And
So,
in a
shootout.
And
So-
Avoyelles scored some points on them.
Mhm.
But you know what? They scored some points on Avoyelles, just not as much. So I can't say nothing.
Onside kicks can hurt your ball.
Yeah, you can. You're right. You're
So
right.
you look at this Oakdale team; they're also in that Division IV bracket,
Mm-hmm.
along with the Welsh team we talked about earlier.
Right.
So you can look at this Oakdale team and start writing them in somewhere, and
Oh.
say
Right.
they can cause some problems also.
Yes, Oakdale can really throw a monkey wrench in the playoff system. I'm gonna put it to you that way.
So final score from Mamou: Oakdale 64, Mahmoud 30. That would be the big question mark right there. How good is this Oakdale defense?
Yes.
Whenever we get into those big time
Right.
playoff matchups moving forward.
That's going to be the
'Cause
question.
you know they can score some points.
That's going to be the question.
But other than that, big win for Oakdale. Moved to 4-2 in the year.
Right.
How about this next matchup? Lafayette Lions got to take the trip down to Sam Houston. Gary, what a game this must have been.
Right.
It looks like it either came down to a missed extra point, it came down to a 2-point conversion that failed,
Something.
or something in that nature, just the way the score looks here. If anybody has some information of how this Sam Houston and Lafayette game finished, please let us know in the chat, because we got a final score. Sam Houston at home knocks off Lafayette 42-41. I'm going to take a guess. Lafayette went for the win, and Sam Houston
Held them out.
held them out. That's my guess of what happened tonight. Somebody let us know in the chat.
Yeah. That had to be an exciting ball game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Had to be.
5A football.
At its
you,
best.
You know they packed them stands in
Right.
5A football, so you know that this one was an instant classic for
Right.
sure. So congratulations to Sam Houston. That's a big win. We said
Yeah.
Sam Houston needed to do some work to get into that playoffs. That's where
That's
it
a good
starts.
one right there.
How about the next game? 3-3 Lake Arthur versus 5-1 Grand Lake. Somebody told Lake Arthur not to bow down to Grand Lake tonight, and they didn't, Gary. They gave them all they could handle. They left their hearts and souls on that field tonight. It wasn't enough at the end, but what an effort from Lake Arthur
Right.
tonight. Almost going on the road and knocking off Grand Lake.
Correct.
Hats off to Grand Lake. Big time fight tonight, and they won it at the
Right.
end. Final score: Grand Lake moves to 6-1 on the year, 41-36.
Right.
Another game where you just want to be a fly on somebody's shoulder, just witnessing it happen and
Right.
unfold in front of your eyes.
Had to be a great ball game. Congratulations, Grand Lake. 6-1. They're continuing their tradition.
Lake Arthur, first time meeting Grand Lake in this new district. Grand Lake made the jump up in classifications, jumped into this district, and you look at it, Grand Lake also in that contention with Welsh and Notre Dame. So
Correct.
we've counted out Grand Lake before the games have even
Yeah.
played. So
They can throw a big monkey wrench in that.
a big one. So don't fall asleep on Grand Lake moving forward. They got some big ones coming up.
Right.
Welsh got some big ones. Grand Lake's got some big ones, and Notre Dame's got some big ones.
Right.
We got a 3-man race right now
Mhm.
for that title. How about Centerville going on the road and taking on undefeated Hanson Memorial? Hanson Memorial 6-0 start, red hot team, looking to stay perfect on the season. Gary, no problems at home. How good is this Hanson Memorial football team? Gary, we saw them in person last year.
Yes, we did. They're going to be competitive. They're going to give everybody a run.
For the score.
Yeah, they are something to deal with. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the same district that Vermilion Catholic's in.
Oh, if that's the case, well, I can't wait to see those two play. If that's the case.
And Central Catholic's in that mix.
Oh, that's 3. So that you got that in there too.
I don't know. Let me Google this
Yeah.
real quick before I'm talking out of my head. Where'd you Google? Right there. When in doubt, you're looking for information,
Hit Google.
you go to Go Preps.
I don't know if I have that on there. Do
Go Preps.
I need to
with
download
Mr.
that.
Hunter Bauer has all you need from scores, rankings, stats, and more. District standings, 1A football. This trucker here. All right, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Hanson Memorial, Vermilion Catholic, Central Catholic are all in the same district.
Oh my goodness! Talk about gonna be a fight.
So it's 7-0, 7-0, and 6-1, all in that same 1A district, and they still
Look
have to
out.
play each other.
That is gonna be awesome.
They're all undefeated in district play and still have yet to play each other.
Wow.
That
That is
There's
going to
some
be
games
awesome.
coming
Yes, that is going to be awesome.
That's some games coming up, ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen. Keep a close eye on that 1A race there between Central Catholic, Vermilion Catholic, and Hanson Memorial.
Right. That's going to be awesome. Okay.
Speaking of Vermilion Catholic, if I told you 19 of the last 20 quarters, Vermilion Catholic has not allowed a point,
I'd say that was right.
you would say that's right because
That's
of how
right.
good that defense
That's
is.
right. Yes. We've been watching them for a while, and we were thinking that they were going to go 20 out of 20, but somebody got lucky.
Gary, and then you think about this. They are blowing teams out of the water.
It's not even close. I mean,
So
that's
you
so
know
sad.
JV's going in at some point.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what about these garbage time touchdowns? How good is the JV?
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
What
you
do
know,
they have coming up at Vermilion Catholic? Holy cow.
Vermilion Catholic is a team that reloads every year.
That's a
They
team.
are so awesome.
That's a team that I put in the state title game earlier this season.
And
I'm
they-
sticking with it
They,
right now,
oh yeah,
baby.
they may well be,
The
but
Screaming Eagles.
yeah, well you got, you know,
They got some good matchups coming up. We will
Mhm.
see where the Screaming Eagles land once playoff time comes.
correct. Congratulations.
53-0 over Generette BC with another win.
Right. Well, it's awesome. They're just playing some good football. Congratulations.
St. Thomas More, big
Excuse
win
me.
tonight on the road over Northside, 49-7. That offense is really good.
Mhm.
That offense is really good, and they and Turlings are on a quest.
They're on a collision course.
They're on a collision course. STM Turlings, finally this game has meaning again.
Right.
And Westgate, your defending state champs. Bad taste in their mouth, boy, was they looking to bounce back in a big way. They would tonight.
And they did.
Their victim tonight would be North Vermilion. It's a bad week to be the team that has to play their defending state champs after a loss.
You're right. And boy, was it bad.
Final score, Westgate 39, North Vermilion 7. These next two teams, Iowa and St. Louis, would both be playing key district race matchups tonight.
Right.
If they would win, they were the front runners here for this district title. Iowa went on the road to take on Westlake, and Iowa moves to 6-1 on the year, shuts out Westlake 27-0. How about them Yellow Jackets?
That's right. Look out.
How about this next team, Gary?
St. Louis
St.
Saints.
Louis. Coach Mathern
Mm-hmm.
has his team in sight
Mm-hmm.
of a district title. It won't be easy because week 9, Iowa comes into town.
Right.
Holy cow.
But today they had a tough team too.
Today they had to go on the road and knock off Prep.
Right.
Lake Charles College Prep, no easy task. They started off slow. I think this was a 7-0 halftime lead for Prep. And then here came St. Louis. Final score, St. Louis 23, Lake Charles College Prep 13. I like this Saints football team.
I do. I like them also. I think they're well coached. They're on the right path. Look out.
St. Louis, Iowa, week 9.
Mark it on your calendar,
Mark
guys.
it on your calendar. You're going to want to keep up with those scores. Patterson, with that red-hot offense, would head down to another red-hot offense in St. James. I think St. James was a little hotter tonight.
Yeah.
They heated up, and they did not cool off for 48 minutes. St. James at home, 6-1 on the season now, 55-13 winners. Gary, nobody's talking about St. James.
St. James is going to put some wake up on some people. You better watch it. This team is
you better hope
hot.
you don't get on the same side as the bracket as St. James.
Right.
Because they are looking like they're trying to get back to the dome.
Right. And you know what? They can do it.
This next matchup, Gary, you have Manny and Winfield. Key district race here, 5-0 versus 5-1. This was close at first. We saw this at halftime. What was it, 14-7?
Yeah, it was.
We said, man, Winfield giving Manny a game. And all Manny did coming out of halftime was flex their muscles, get everything right. Because sometimes sitting down with your coaches and making adjustments do matter.
Right. Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And this night would go to the Manny Tigers. They would roll on the road against Winfield 42-14. Not sure if anybody could take down this Manny football team in district play. Red River has a shot week 9. We will see. But Manny has been dominating this season.
Manny's been playing some good football. You know, I'm going to tell you right now, they're clicking on all cylinders. Look out for Manny.
Berwick comes in undefeated to Central Catholic. Central Catholic, one of those teams we said could challenge VC for that district title. They're 5-1. Big time win for this Central Catholic football team. 35-28. What a game that must have been.
Right.
Berwick suffers their first loss of the season.
Oh, that has to be 35-28. That means that you basically weren't stopping each other. You were just, it was ball control, and probably whoever had the ball last ended up winning. That's what it sounds like. Congratulations, Central Catholic. I can't wait to see what's going to happen between Hanson, VC, and them. That is going to be awesome. That's going to be
great district
titles. Yes.
A couple of 5-1 teams meeting up on the gridiron on Friday night. Tioga, Franklin Parish. How about a 10-point win for Franklin Parish? 23-13. Franklin Parish moves to 6-1 on the year. Tioga drops to 5-2 on the year. How good is this Franklin Parish football team? I don't hear much about them. We better start paying close attention to them as we go into week 8.
Right.
And everyone at home, keep a close eye on Franklin Parish. We said it on Wednesday night. Could the Roos do it again? They knocked off a 5A Walker football team earlier in the season, coming off a loss to A-Meat. Would they bounce back? They welcome in 5A McDonough 35.
Right.
They had to go to McDonough 35.
They had to go.
And the Roos on the road roll. 29-12. Kentwood gets that 6th win of the season, and proving why they are currently ranked number 1 in the state in that Division 4 bracket. Congratulations to the Roos.
Right. I didn't see that coming. I thought McDonough was going to be a little bit too tough, but man, don't underestimate the Roos.
How about a couple of 5-1 teams in that same bracket, that Division 4 bracket? A couple of top 10 teams meeting tonight. Haynesville going to Arcadia. Could Arcadia knock off Haynesville tonight? No, sir.
Nope.
Haynesville back-to-back weeks. First they knock off Oak Grove, then they come on the road and knock off 5-1 Arcadia. Haynesville, ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Tornadoes are making statements these
That's
last
right.
few weeks.
And they've done it.
Final score 47-18, Haynesville on the road.
Right.
How about our next contest? We had the pleasure of covering this game tonight. A couple of 4-2 teams that just don't like each other very much. St. Ed's welcome in Sacred Heart Key District race.
Right.
If St. Ed's wins, they stay tied with OC at 2-0 in district. If Sacred Heart wins, they go 1-1. And St. Ed's would fall to 1-1, and it would be OC out in front.
Right.
Tonight, Gary, on the road, Sacred Heart
Don't do that.
in the trenches,
Right.
and Mr. Drudy at quarterback,
Right.
and number 16 showing up on countless fourth downs in the receiving game
Right.
would be the difference.
Right.
Final score: Trojans 30, St. Ed's 17. This was an 18-17 ball game going into the fourth quarter.
Correct.
This was a 24-17 ball game with less than 4 minutes remaining, Gary.
Correct.
Third and 20
Mm-hmm.
from the 45, and Drudy calls his own number. Drudy goes untouched. Drudy has the dagger.
Yeah. Great ball game. Very, very intense rivalry. But Sacred Heart flexed their muscles today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next matchup, how about a couple of 5-1 teams looking to get ahead in that district title race? Winner of this game would have sole possession of the lead here, and all they would have to do is win out.
Correct.
And the district title is theirs, but before they could get to that title, they have to go through each other.
Correct.
How about Oberlin? How about Basile from Hanson Field?
Right.
Gary was not at the game,
Nope.
but I think Cortez went 5 for 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think the two-headed monster had a good night.
Mm-hmm.
I think the line of scrimmage was won by the Bearcats.
I think so too.
Gary, you shut down Oberlin to 13 points, so the defense played a hell of a fucking game too.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Basile Bearcats, from that coaching staff to every player on that football team. Big time win at home tonight, 35-13. The Bearcats controlled their own destiny to be outright district champs.
Correct. Yeah, they're on path. They're on pace to do it. So look out.
Gary, also, rankings mean so much at this time of the year.
Right.
What a game that they just won to boost those power rankings.
Well, most definitely. That's going to boost them up
They came
even
in
higher.
at 8 right now.
Right.
Coming into week 7.
Depending on how the ones on top
Ones
of them
in front
did.
but beating a 5-1 team and having some teams you already beat win this week
Mm-hmm.
looks really good for Basile moving forward.
Oh, I think they're going to be moving up most definitely.
Last 2 games we had here, what a classic between Madison
wow,
Prep
yes.
and University Lab.
Mhm.
How about, we said this game was 37-37 late in the fourth quarter. Madison Prep lines up for a game-winning field goal. Yes, we said it. Madison Prep lines up for a game-winning field goal. I did not know they kicked over there at Madison Prep, Gary.
Didn't know it either. Not after last year. Not at all.
When the game is on the line, coach has enough trust in his players and said, go win the game.
That's right.
Gary,
And they did.
he won that game. Walk-off field goal with 7 seconds remaining pushes Madison Prep over ULab 40-37. We said it. Madison Prep, ULab, this is probably your district title game.
Correct.
Congratulations, Madison Prep. Huge win tonight. Big time game when big time players playing in it.
You're right.
So congratulations to Prep for sure. Walk-off field goal.
Right.
In your final game, we had 5-1 John Curtis coming into Bill Dotson Stadium to take on 5-1 Acadiana. Who would win the line of scrimmage, Gary? Who would win the time of possession? And who would be saying fear to veer after 48 minutes? Gary, gut punch from the Rams tonight.
For the Rams, yes.
For the Rams tonight.
I didn't see this coming. I thought it was going to be like a 21-14 game or something like that. And John Curtis came in here with a message, and you know what? They delivered it loud and clear.
It is loud and clear, my friend. Curtis throwing their name into that Division I hat and said, "Don't forget about us.
Right.
We are still John Curtis."
Yes. And they proved it tonight.
They proved it tonight. Not an easy place to go win at, and they pretty much dominated the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Final score, John Curtis 35, Acadiana 14. Wowzers.
That's a big wowzer. Like I said, I'm not surprised Curtis won, but I am surprised by the margin.
3 touchdown win for John Curtis tonight. Keep an eye out on Curtis where they fall in the bracket in a few weeks from now.
Correct.
And see what potential matchups lead the way for them.
Right.
Congratulations to Curtis. Acadiana looking to bounce back next week. I think they have a date with Southside. That's no easy game.
That's going to be a good ball game.
Yes.
That's going to be a good ball game.
That game might decide the district title.
Correct.
It's a couple scores from around the state of interest, ladies and gentlemen. Prescott of Arkansas comes on the road, knocks off Homer 9-0. That game was 2-0 at halftime.
Right.
Prescott, Arkansas is the number 1 ranked team
In the state of Arkansas.
from the state of Arkansas. So they shut out Homer tonight at Homer, 9-0. How about Bunkie? Big win for Bunkie over Buckeye, 49-27. Congratulations to Bunkie. Ascension Episcopal, big win tonight, 47-0 over West St. Mary. Ascension Episcopal getting in the win column after being so close these last few weeks.
Correct.
So, good win there from the Blue Gators. Jennings rolls over South Bow, 35-8. Bird knocks off Parkway tonight, 39-14.
Wow.
Undefeated no more, Gary.
Right.
Parkway goes down.
That's amazing.
Big time win for Bird. Bird has been struggling a little bit, but they get it together this week and knock off an undefeated Parkway team. Like to see teams get big time wins.
You're right.
Ouachita Parish 49, Alexandria 48. Boy,
Wow.
what a thriller of a game. Congratulations to Ouachita Parish with an outstanding 1-point victory in a shootout on the road, 49-48. Big time win
That
for
has to
Parish.
be great.
And also Pine knocking off the defending state champs tonight, 28-26. Down goes a meet.
Oh my goodness, I
Pine
didn't know that.
takes down a meet tonight. What a win for Pine. And this is Pine, not Pine Prairie.
Not
So
Pine
this
Prairie,
is
Pine.
Pine, yes.
Yes. And they got a great game that's going to be there played tomorrow. Archbishop Rummel versus St. Aug. That's you want to talk about a rival.
Tomorrow around midday or
Yeah.
tomorrow night. Those two teams will meet up. We will find out that score. Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, we should have a good idea of our Thursday and Friday night games next week, of where we're headed. We have our Wednesday night show next week.
Mhm.
And week 8 is almost here already.
Right.
Almost
here.
Almost time to close the door on week 7, but before we can do that, we got some helmet stickers to give out. We got games of the night to give out, upsets of the night to give out, and UTL statement wins of the night to give out. Let's start our picks here with upsets of the night, Gary.
Upsets of the night. Okay, I'm going to say this is basically just my opinion on it. Sam Houston over Lafayette High. I think that was an upset. I think Lafayette High was rolling pretty good, and that was really shocking to me. Erath over Kaplan. I think that was I didn't expect Erath to beat Kaplan. St. Martinville with that win over St. Charles. Catholic of New Iberia over Delcom, and I had one more I instead of 4. Dunham over Episcopal. Goes 5.
Okay, sir.
Those are my upsets. I thought that those, were a little upset to me.
We got 3 of the same right there, Gary.
Okay, cool.
I had Catholic of New Iberia over Delcom also.
Mm-hmm.
Records 2-4 versus 4-2.
Correct.
St. Martinville over the defending state champs
Right. At St. Charles.
at Comet Stadium. Sam Houston over Lafayette, 1-point thrilling victory over a Lafayette team that was off to an
Good
outstanding start. I also threw Opelousas Catholic over an undefeated Catholic of Point Capee in a dominant fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And my final upset of the night goes to East Beauregard over Elton.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
East Bow only had 2 wins coming in tonight. They just got their 3rd win. Upset over Elton tonight.
Correct.
Games of the night, Gary Swallow.
Kentwood over McDonough 35.
Game of the night.
Game of the night, yeah. Sacred Heart over St. Ed's. I thought that we covered that. John Curtis over Acadiana. Yeah, that one. And Madison Prep over ULAB.
All right, my friend. All we have is one similar there. Madison Prep over ULAB, a walk-off field goal. How can that not be game of the night?
Right.
Sam Houston over Lafayette, not sure how it ended, but a 1-point shootout victory. You earned game of the night. Eunice over Washington Marion in overtime. Give me game of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Lake over Lake Arthur in a shootout. Close win there for Grand Lake. That earns game of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And your final one, it was Thursday night. Turlings. Walk-off win over LCA on a 4th and 10 pass.
That was
21-17
awesome.
earns game of the night, Gary.
Yep. I can't argue with none of that. Can't argue with none of them.
How about UTL statement wins of the night? Who gets them?
I got 4 and statement wins. For my statement wins, I got OC over Catholic of Point Capee.
That is a statement.
That is a statement. They just pretty much did it. Turlings over LCA.
Yes.
That's a statement. Central Catholic over Berwick.
Yes, knocked off.
Yes. And then John Curtis over Acadiana.
I agree.
Statements. Just they made the statement, they went with it.
Turlings over LCA statement win of the week.
Yes, got to be.
Not just the night.
Yeah, the
of
week.
the week. John Curtis over Acadiana. You go back to this was at Bill Dotson Stadium.
Right.
This was against a Acadiana team that has been pretty damn good these last 10 years.
Yes, at that stadium they've been really good.
John Curtis over Acadiana. UTL statement win of the night. 3 more for you, Gary.
Go for
How
it.
about St. Martinville taking down the state champs on the road?
You're right.
Statement win of the night. How about Basile taking down a 5-1 Oberlin team, and they made it look easy
You're right.
tonight.
They sure did.
This Basile football team is a really good football team, and they go into Hanson Field tonight, and they earn statement win of the night.
Correct.
Final one, Gary. How about St. Louis over Lake Charles College Prep? St. Louis snaps Lake Charles College Prep's 17-game district win streak tonight.
Oh, wow.
Statement win of the night. Congratulations, Coach Mathern at
Right.
St. Louis. 17-game
That's right. That's
district
awesome.
win streak snapped tonight, Gary.
That's amazing.
Statement win of the night.
That is amazing.
Helmet stickers to give out, ladies and gentlemen. Who earned helmet stickers this week? Gary, who you got?
Man, I got 4. First one I got is Basile. I wanted to give them credit. They did what they had to do, and I'm very happy for them. Second one, Sacred Heart, the game that we cover tonight, Sacred Heart of Ville Platte. They put put it together, and they had a great team win. Opelousas High School Tigers for doing taking care of business and doing what they got to do. Great ball club. And last but not least, this is just a personal thing. Helmet stickers, Church Point.
You like the
I like the
Bears.
Battling Bears for doing what they do. So I'm going to give my 4 to those guys: Church Point, OHS, Sacred Heart, and Basile.
Helmet stickers of the night for myself goes to number 1, Basile.
Okay,
You might have just clinched the outright district title tonight.
correct.
Helmet sticker for defending your home turf and doing it in dominant fashion.
Correct.
OC, outstanding win on Thursday night. Defense played lights out, played with their hair on fire, and you got a really good football team there that's battle tested. They
Correct.
earned helmet sticker of the night. Got to give the next one to Sacred Heart, Gary.
They did. Look at what they did tonight.
Look what they did tonight. Big time rivalry game, big time win for that program. Number 7, a special player.
Correct. Very special.
My next one went to Hanson Memorial. 7-0 start for that football team. Big time win tonight. Congratulations to Hanson Memorial. Starting out 7-0. And my final helmet sticker, 19 quarters out of 20. 7-0 start. Vermilion Catholic Screaming Eagles earn my last helmet sticker of the night, Gary.
Hey, and you know what? It's all good.
Gary, I'm going to give you some games of interest for next week, and then we'll close this baby out with our final thoughts before we head down to Kings.
Let's do it.
Ascension Episcopal Lowerville next week.
Whoa.
Madison Prep and Warren Easton next week.
Oh my, that's going to be a very interesting ball game.
I'm only on Thursday night.
Oh wow.
Southern Lab and Avoyles next week.
Really?
Gary, buckle up. It's going to be a wild week 8.
Southern Lab and Avoyles. Oh my God.
Oh, baby. How about Airline and Bird next week?
That's going to be interesting.
How about undefeated Hanson Memorial against 6-1 Central Catholic next week?
That is going to be a shootout.
Ooh, oh, baby. How about undefeated Carroll against 6-1 Franklin Parish next week?
Oh boy, big boys.
Week 8, holy S. That's just on Thursday, Gary.
Well, let's see what Friday has.
That might be the best Thursday night games I've seen in recent memory.
Right. The games are only getting better. They're getting more competitive, and it's going to be amazing to see what we're going to be going through Because I'm going to tell you right now, with the brackets the way that they have it, it's going to keep on shuffling up until the last week, and then the playoff brackets come out. I don't think you're going to have a bad ball game.
How about 6-1 Edie White versus 6-1 Berwick next week?
Oh, wow. That's going to be E.D. White. I tell you what, they're coming out, but they've always been a solid ball club.
How about Southside versus Acadiana next week?
That is going to be the test for Southside and the test for Acadiana. Southside to see if they're up to the level, and Acadiana if they're still on top.
See what else we got. You got Abbeville ERAF next week.
That's going to be interesting.
Catholic Appointed Peace St. Ed's.
That's going to be a good ball game. Well, man.
Dunham versus East Feliciana.
And we're going to have some interesting ball games to pick.
Westgate versus LCA.
Ooh, yes,
St.
sir.
Thomas More versus Turlings.
Oh, mark that one down.
That's gonna be a game.
Week 8
My goodness.
might be the best week of the season.
So far, that's what it's sounding like. Ladies and gentlemen.
Cedar Creek against Ouachita Christian next
Oh,
week.
wow.
That's a top 10
Damn right.
matchup.
These games are getting harder and harder to pick, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to getting more and more exciting to watch. So, hey, we're going to be doing our part with our pick show and everything like that, but man, go watch these high school kids play ball. They're putting everything out there. Go watch them play ball and see how good they are.
5-1 Kentwood versus 6-1 Slaughter Community Charter.
Oh, wow. Are they playing at Kentwood?
Slaughter.
Oh, that's Slaughter. Oof. Yeah.
How about Cecilia and OHS next week?
Right down the street. Look out.
Boy, I didn't realize we had this good of games next week.
Well, we got a bunch. And you know what?
How about Rummel Brother Martin next week?
Oh, that is the bomb.
What a list of games, Gary.
You right, my friend. I'll tell you what, Jordy, I'm going to tell you, I think this is the best year that we've ever covered ball games with. This is as far as competition, I think this is the best year that I've seen as far as having non-district competitors, and it's made the districts that much better. I think it's amazing.
Gary, close the door on week 7. Final thoughts as we head into week 8.
Man, I thought last week was a good week. I thought this week was better than last week, and I think next week coming is going to be better than this week. It's just like it keeps getting better and better. I can't wait.
What I just looked at for week 8, that's an explosion.
Right.
That is waiting to be one of the best Wednesday night shows we've had in a long time.
Right. I can't wait to see it. Just the picks. I'm not, the headlines and stuff and all the records and stuff. That's great stuff. But man, these picks, these picks are getting harder and harder. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't do very good this week on picks, but I'm gonna tell you, it's not because we didn't try. And these guys that are playing, that I always say, that's why you play the game, because a lot of the people that we pick, you still have to get on the field and win. So it's just it's harder and harder. And you think it's hard now? Wait till we get to the playoffs. Oh my God, Jordy!
We welcome in colder weather next week.
Yes.
Can't wait for week 8 of high school football. Gary, got a special guest coming in to the studio next week, an all too familiar face.
Hey, I'm excited to hear.
Making his first appearance of the season, and it might be the only time he comes.
Huh?
But, ladies and gentlemen, Big D will be in the studio next week for OHS Cecilia.
Really? Good. I miss my man.
The temperatures in the 30s next week.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Big D making an appearance next week to come talk some Tiger football with us
Right.
and pick some games. It should be a great Week 8 Wednesday night show. We look forward to seeing you then. We close the door on Week 7. Congratulations to all the teams that won across the state of Louisiana. Signing off for now from myself, Mr. Gary Swallow, also Big Cody here,
He's
watching
watching
from
us.
the studio audience. We will say have a good weekend. Good night for now. This has been Under the Lights. We'll see you soon.